Okay, I'm going to introduce you to somebody to begin with. And this is my son. Ironically, he's called Ted. He's actually called Edward. He's a cool dude. He likes to play outside and drive camper vans, you know, things like that. But fundamentally, he completely experiences the world in a different way to the way that I do. And I'm talking about technology, really. So, to give you an example, he can already unlock his mum's iPhone, and he's 2. He can use an iPad by himself, completely independently for hours on end, which is not a good thing, I have to admit. But he also tries to swipe the TV. It's not a touchscreen TV, but he tries to swipe it. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, his experience of life will be completely different to mine because of his use of technology. And I'm going to give you sort of one example of what that might be. This is where I went to university. This is University of Sheffield. I'm not actually that old, so this is about 10 years ago. These kinds of institutions do very well around the world. Some of the most exclusive ones, people do 8-week terms. Lecturers have wine allowances, which is fantastic. They charge lots of fees. Students go there, spend a lot of time there, you know, between the ages of 18 to 21. And actually, people leave these and get fantastic jobs. They become the most, leading luminaries of our lifetime. So, you know, there's David Blunkett, Sir Harry Kuroto's up there as well. So these people go on and do absolutely amazing things. But people have, in general, incredibly busy lives. And actually, for most people, in the world, I mean, it's very difficult for them to attend something like a university like Sheffield or Oxford or Cambridge or somewhere like that that charges many thousands of pounds for their attendance. They have to be there full time. They have to be there between the ages of 18 to 21. So what we're now starting to see is a shift in how people engage with learning and the university world and just, well, yeah, education in general. So what we now kind of have is, rather than just having exclusive institutions, is having a really wide continuum of all sorts of opportunities which are available for everybody. So on the right-hand side, we've got kind of face-to-face classical learning. You know, these people go to Oxford and Cambridge. There's blended, where you come in a bit, maybe, but most of the time you're out. Distance, where you are completely out and you never, ever visit an institution, ever. Online, which is what I do, which is all done through the internet. And then open learning, which is what I'm kind of talking about today. At one end, we've got really exclusive, didactic, very sort of exclusive experiences. And on the other end, this is not my house, by the way, but it's someone's house, actually very open and social, very accepting and democratic learning, which is a completely different experience to the other end. Now, this general change is happening. People are generally moving towards the left-hand side of the continuum. As obviously, but older people access learning. We know that people in general are accessing distance learning more. The fees are much cheaper, up to a sixth cheaper. People with disabilities, it's much easier for them to access online learning, for example. And the Open University, in 2011, there were 79,000 students with a registered disability. And 17,000 of them were studying with the Open University, which is a massive number. And the thing that really has enabled all of this is technology. You know, the speed of computers has increased at an exponential rate, absolutely exploded. And also accessibility of that technology. It's become much more affordable to have things that you can use. So this is the journey of technology, I guess. We've gone from tablets to people writing letters with pencils and pens and things, radios, and people have used these for learning already at this stage, by the way. We had the internet, which was this most amazing thing that has completely transformed the world and how people access and talk to each other. We went back to tablets. We're a bit sort of post-tablets now, I think, and people are using other devices because they've realized they can't actually do anything with them. And we're now entering the realms of accessible virtual reality, of virtual worlds where people can completely be submerged or submerged in a completely artificial world and engage with it, interact with it in 360 dimensions. So I'm a nurse, is my background. I'm a registered nurse, and I used to work in intensive care. And technology has become so advanced that this happens right now in hospitals around the world, that we can connect people's brains with breathing machines, ventilators, so that they connect and talk to each other, and that the ventilator will breathe for the person at the rate their brain would do normally, even whilst they're sedated or asleep, in an artificial induced coma. And this happens right now. It's very expensive, but we can do it. So there are examples of really well-used human-computer interfaces right now. And so I think we're going to see much more of this. I mean, I'm not talking sort of Matrix, but we could do that with virtual reality. We could connect people to the world that's out there. So one example of the use of technology, and this is something that we've done with a team at the university here, is run a massive open online course. And these are absolutely enormous courses. Some of them have 150,000 students, for example. They are completely open and free for anybody to study. There are no entry requirements whatsoever. They're online, so just about anybody with a computer and internet connection can access them. And they're a course, but they might not be a course. They could be a course. So you could run it through a platform, or some people run them through Twitter or various other ways of running these things. And people have remarked that Sebastian Thrun, for example, who has a lot to do with Google, has said that in one course, one MOOC, he taught more people than his entire lifetime of teaching at an institution. So the numbers of people who are studying these are absolutely enormous, and you can study them on whatever you want to do. Equine nutrition is the most bizarre one I've found. But we decided to run one on dementia. And now dementia is probably the biggest concern of our time. It's been Mental Health Awareness Week this week. It's also been Dementia Awareness Week. And in the UK right now, there's 850,000 people living with dementia, about 35 million people worldwide, incredibly high levels of new diagnosis, and it's very, very expensive. It's something in the order of $600 billion worldwide. So this is something which is already here, but on the horizon it's looking like it's going to be even bigger, that we decided that we would do something about. So we would run this course, this MOOC, on dementia. We had a lot less than 100,000, I have to say, but over 2 courses worth, we've had 6,000 students. So I've worked for the university for about 3 years, and I've probably taught about something in the order of 400 to 500 students. In 12 weeks, I've taught 6,000 students about something which is incredibly important to us as healthcare professionals, to you as the members of the general public, and to people in the world in general, really. And these students did the most amazing things. We asked them to do activities, to create things, to work together. All of this was completely free and accessible and open, and they did things that were unbelievable. People created guidelines, mind maps, leaflets. Some people even recorded sort of oral histories of their grandparents who had dementia. So, this course was available. It was a good thing to do, we thought, but actually we wanted to measure about, was it actually going to do anything? Because we've got technology, we can make it accessible, we can use it, but actually, why do we do that? It has to have a purpose or a meaning. And so we surveyed people, and this is the first time we've ever actually presented this data, so you're the first people to see this. We surveyed people at the beginning and at the end to find out what their attitudes were towards certain aspects of dementia. So the first one was, for people with really bad dementia, I don't think life is worth living. And that's quite a strong statement, but we wanted to ask people to see what their views were. And there was a significant reduction in that of P0.015. Don't worry, I won't explain the stats. Should someone newly diagnosed with dementia continue to live alone? It increased significantly because of the people studying the course. And should somebody newly diagnosed with dementia continue to drive? That also increased significantly. So by studying the course, people's attitudes were changed. People's thoughts and feelings towards dementia were changed. So what am I trying to get at? This is back to Ted, who's doing the washing up in the drain. Technology can be an amazing enabler for us to do things. I've sort of talked about a lot of different things in this talk, but the main thing I want to say is that Edward will use technology in a way that I can't ever imagine. He's only just 2. By the time he's 50, we could be completely connected in many ways that we've never even dared to dream of. We can use this for so much good and for impact on society. It could be used for evil as well, I guess, but we want to try and use it for a positive impact. And I think I'm really, really excited to see what we could do. Dementia is just one thing, but the possibilities are endless. Thank you.